Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Matt and Nin podcast. Thank you very much for joining us. As usual, my name is Matt.
And my name is Nan.
So, in this episode, we would like to speak about music and how music industry is progressing, or is growing in South Sudan and many parts of Africa, and the genre, with the growth of Afro music these days, there has been a lot of interest in African music. But in our country, we don't see the same level of consumption internationally compared to other countries like Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, and all other African countries. So we wanted to exchange a bit on this topic because uh, culturally, music is an important cultural aspect that brings you know it builds into how people perceive you and get to know you and experience your culture in different way. For example, uh, a number of people, that have never been to Nigeria, but they're able to watch music. I mean, to listen, to sing along, and stuff, by the fact that this music has had a lot of impact. So that's why we chose this topic, to exchange a bit and see where we are uh, in our country. So thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, as Matt has mentioned that we're just going to explore the music industry in Africa and in South Sudan. We just want to see how maybe we have young children, young kids, young cousins that want to be musicians. So before they go into that industry, we just want to explore the opportunity, the important, and the support that those artists or musician people are getting from the community, and the complex system that they have to navigate before they become a big person. For example, we have big artists in South Sudan. It hasn't been easy for them. It has been very difficult. But where they are, if someone was to tell us how they get there, it would be a very tough scenario where a young artist will find it very challenging. So we're just going to discuss all this topic and see how community, country can actually invest in these talented people so that they can achieve their dream.
I mean, just as a start, what are you able to name some of the big names in the music industry in South Sudan, like some big artists that have a lot of followers and streams on social media? Are you able to name some, and some of your favorites of this?
Yes, I can name some of musicians, the big musician in the country, but we will just discuss the meaning of their songs and what they are trying to tell us. Some people were there for the liberation of our country, the struggle our grandfather went through, the struggle, how the whole country went, and how they composed that through songs and a way of dancing and expressing their happiness. So in our country, there have been very different type of musics. Like I mentioned before, there are struggled people. We can mention them, the young people who are now coming up. And if I have to tell you my favorite artist or the song, you probably have the same list, but I'm not going to tell you, because if I tell you, you may end up taking my good
No,
playlist and
no.
you go and play
So
it.
tell
So,
our audience, what are some of the top three artists that you listen to from South Sudan from time to time?
well, all in all, I listen to my uh, like before I go there. Back in those days, I wanted to be a musician, but I didn't know
With that ugly
what to
voice of
think,
yours.
what to actually think about. I sometimes compose song because back in the village, people used to sing. They don't sing like a modern way of singing, but when the girl comes, you have to sing your songs and actually impress them by saying those nice words. Nyamate like the boy along Nyamate Koiro go, all these Malwai and all these things. So I wanted to become a
What
musician.
do those what do those means in English for those who do not understand where?
Well, Nyamata later boy, it's me like a girl with really white teeth, when she used that cow dung to brush her teeth, or she get and Nyamata Koirogo, it's me like a woman with really nice leg, those big straight leg, So like we call them koi, you know. So for you to like to tell her that those are the things that you like, you will have to sing a song. So at that time, when we go and greet those girls. She wanted to be a musician so that you can be the first option for them. So those were the way that maybe a lot of our men, as you know of today, if you go back in the village, most of them are kind of traditional singers, but they express their feelings and what they think and what they are going
But
through.
those kinds of music, they're actually nice. But these days they are not that disappearing in the mainstream. So I don't know. I mean, I used to also listen a lot to this traditional music, and I still listen to like like some of them that have a lot of message, like Gadet Cholit,
Yes.
many other singers like Gordon Kong. Gordon Kong has also evolved, to integrate some of the pop music and bringing in some instruments that, because in the past he was mainly using the traditional uh, you know um, instrument to record, but these days they go to studio. But the thing is that like we traditionally have the culture of music, like every society. Like they say, music is a universal language that you don't need to know the language to like it, or to to dance to it. But I think there has been a very slow growth in terms of at international level. I only know like a few artists, of course, as I mentioned earlier, Gordon Kwang. We have John Frog, has had some collaborations here and there. Ali Joma has had some collaborations as well with some people from the region and also internationally. But what do you think is causing all this lack of, exportation of this kind of music, of our music, generally speaking? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say that it's not a good thing that the music is consumed locally, but uh, the world is integrated. I mean, there should be, like we should be able to export and bring these aspects to other societies.
Yes, I agree with you that we need to start at home, because if we don't listen to our local musics, then it will be very hard for the international people to actually hear what South Sudan have to bring. What I have seen over time, like you asked me, who are your best traditional artists, or who are your best musician in our country? Like, of course, I would say Gordon Kwang is my number one. Uh, those of Kang JJ, a lot of many John Kudus, Elejoma and all these guys. These are great singers. But what I see is that as much as they are good, if we don't push them, if we don't tell them that what you're doing is good as a community, as a country, uh, they can only give up. But they will not give up because of the support that they're not getting. But I'm thinking for the other world to hear who these people are, we have to push them as a country. But what I have seen is that a lot of our countrymen and women, sometimes when an artist come up, they will try to support, but when they try to get upstairs, some of them will be dragging it on. It could be another artist that's having issue with that artist, because I don't understand if our country has a regulation where it's a code of conduct where you cannot bring another musician down, or you cannot talk bad about another musician. Like all those things need to be considered for our music industry to go forward, because at the moment it's what you call a solo music, where you may go to a concert and you probably have few people, and when you have none turn up, people will actually laugh at you like a failure. That's not it.
But
All of
also,
us.
you know, yeah, I get that, you know, that is between the artists themselves, there is a part that they're playing, you know, to bring themselves down. But isn't that part of the game? I mean, it's like when you have, you know, any job. I mean, you have competition, you know, with your opponent. So I don't know. I mean, that is one part, which is we, the listeners, you know, kind of we have to promote them in some way or the other by listening to music and going to their concert. But I think fundamentally, you know, some in the society, there is a need to accept that this can be a career, you know. And I don't know. I mean, for me, I see sometimes that music is like a side hustle for many people. Like they don't do it at mainstream, like the only thing, because they are afraid a bit that they will not get the audience to be able to monetize it. So I think this is also something that we need to consider for the artists, that we can imagine that slow down their growth and their creativity.
Yeah, but like all in all, what I'm saying is this: if we're not going to support them, if I'm going to be happy because this musician was holding a concert but people didn't turn up, and then that's how I'm going to bully that person, I don't think that's the way. That's the way forward. What I think is that we all need to support them. Doesn't matter if you go to a concert yesterday, you go to another concert yesterday, you go to another concert today or tomorrow. You have to give your support as a person from that country, because these people are doing a good thing. Because if you get upset and you get bored wherever, you can listen to those songs, because those songs has a meaningful uh, composition. You know, it could be a sad song that makes you recover from the way you are thinking, or maybe it could be a song that actually push you to your limit so that you can actually never give up in what you're trying to achieve. So I'm thinking, or what I know is that we need to support these people, and there's no support in our country. Sometimes I would give you support unless if I'm getting something out of it. Let's say if I'm a politician, I'll give you something as an artist, but that means that you're gonna compose a song about me. You
But
know,
just,
that's
just to follow up on that, you think really this is something that is done by those people that you know, like are we here are being talked about in the song? Do you think they pay the artists, or it's just the goodness of those artists that compose songs for those people, be it a politician or any other person?
Well, I don't think if it's a good of those people. Normally, if a person has developed a country, person build a hospital, of course I will compose a song about those people. But if someone helped me in a condition where I was, where he was the only person that get me out of that situation, of course, when I compose that song, I will say that person was good. That person may not be good to another person next to me, but I have to compose that song just to make sure that I express my feeling about him or her, you know. So there's a lot of artists that if you give me B8 cards, of course I will sing your name. I'll say, Matthew, you're the only man in the world that has done something for me, you know. And another day you may not be the
So
same
I
person.
haven't heard
So
my name yet in any of the music, so I guess I haven't done anything important. Maybe
because
we
you
need to
haven't
bring some people
even.
to the show so that they can sing something about us.
Yeah, you haven't given anything out, so maybe that's why you haven't heard your name. So, of course, people will appreciate what people have done for them. That's why you can hear people name. People can do something within the community, and this is another way of appreciating them. A community may have a good level of education. Maybe there was a person that was involved in that outcome. So, that person will be composed in that song for that particular community, which is a good thing. And community will actually pay money for their song to be released. That's another way of supporting that artist. But what I'm saying is this: we have to come up with another way of supporting our own local artists, because I think in the world we spend so much money listening to the other musician from Africa, the one from the America, and less on our own people. You know, so
But
I
I think they also have a part to play because we cannot, you know, it's a business, you know, like themselves, they need to do something as well. We cannot just support them blindly. They need, because if you, if you produce, you know, you record a nice record, I'm going to listen to it. I've listened to a couple of people like Kaiwan, you know, Kingpin, Gadebir. I've listened to people like this, but because there are some records that I like that they've released. So, but it's incumbent upon them to also give us nice music, because if they don't, it's a competition. There's like millions and millions of artists worldwide. But I mean, the issue is that that I think we need to talk about and emphasize on is the fact that uh, as a community, community, as a country, as a nation, there's still limited acceptance of music as a career. And how can we build this? How can we put it into, it's like football. In the past, you and I and many other youth tried to play football at professional level, but we were pushed to pursue academics, not knowing that football is also something that is important, and we've seen how sports has lifted people. So I think there's a need, at a household level, at a family level, to accept that if somebody has a talent or shows signs of talent in that field, that they need to be supported. So I think that's where the support needs to come from or start from. Uh, for example, today, if your son, sing and show the sign of talent in music, like what would be your, how would you react to that, for example,
Well, if my son want to be a musician, he will probably say, "I want to be singing like Gordon Kong. I want to be singing like J. Kang J. Kai Wan, like any other people." But for them to be there, you said they have to compose good songs so that people can get attractive to that. But you know that in our country, there's no budget for musicians to use so that they can go and produce this song. So all of this is done out of their own pocket, you know. So if they release that album, and then some of us decided to watch it on YouTube, not even going to actually support them, how do you know, or how do you feel? How confident are you they're going to release the next album? And the money they have, the little they have, they already use it on the first album. So what I'm trying to push is that, look, you can have a friend that's a musician. You may need to help them from your own pocket, but I want us to go and actually show them that your music means something, not watching it from local media. When they say they're having an event on that day, we all show up. We all go to them and say, look, we are here for you. Doesn't matter how bad your music is, but we are here to support you. We have seen that. We have seen the power of that from the guy called, what is his name? My GM. My GM. You see this. We support that guy. That guy have no song, but because the world was supporting his talent to push him forward, if we give that to every musician, that way everyone will want to be an artist. Even my children will want to be an artist because they have seen the future. They have a reason to go and actually express their feeling to the world in a way of singing song. So you cannot say that these people have to give something nice for us to be attractive to their song. You know, I think that we have to allocate a budget, something
But
that
how is
they
it
can
supposed
use
to?
it, even give them.
How do you intend to support that? How do you intend to acquire that budget? The government will not support these people if it does not benefit them. We talked the other day that there is even limited amount finance for healthcare, education, and all this infrastructure. How do you think they're going to allocate funds to artists, which they don't even believe that this is a sector that should be developed further, that can promote the country, like any other sector.
Yes, if we have identified that this is an issue, at least we need to establish that. We can uh, establish it's a recording studio where we say every artist will have one album a year that doesn't come from their own pocket. We have association, we have a music industry association that look after those guys, you know. So what I'm saying is that we need to
In
set up
any case, I
something.
mean, the that like now we can talk about development. I think music in terms of the development of music at a very local level. I think we are at a certain level. We have plenty of artists, both the traditional and pop artists. But what do people listen to today? What kind of music are people listening to today? From the share of music that is within the country, like what are people listening to?
From what I'm seeing, people are listening more to traditional song, like the local language, song that are composed in Nui, some that are composed in Dogenjang or some that are composed in another equatorial language, people are attractive to that compared to someone composing song in English, because I think we are attractive to our local regional area. If I come from Bentiu Unity State, at least I will listen to that. If someone come from another location, they will listen to that, but not at a national level where they say this person is just from South Sudan. We're just going to go and support them. So we need to put that support together, not at a state level, at a national level where this artist is from South Sudan, and we're just going to support that person because this person is from South Sudan. At least when we have youngsters coming up that want to be a musician, at least they have hope and future to go to, you know, because you can
But
try.
does that mean that people are listening to traditional music recorded in the various languages? That means there's also a language divide, because if a song is recorded in Dinka or Shilluk or Bari, it will be difficult for me to understand. Of course, I can like the music and dance to it, and I've seen a lot of music as well that I like from many cultures. But do you think? I mean, I think there is a need to develop, a common, a language. I mean, obviously, you cannot remove the side of the language, because otherwise, I mean, this is one way to basically preserve the language. But there needs to be sort of a unifying, mechanism to be able to put the music together like a style, because, for example, when you listen today to Tanzanian music, I mean, it's clear bongo flavor. It's clear you can understand where it's coming from before even somebody sing. Same thing, somebody from Nigeria or Ghana, you would know that this music is coming from where. But the question is, like, today, if you hear a recording without hearing, seeing the name of the artist, would you be able to tell that this person is from South Sudan?
Yeah, of course. Normally, the English songs are really coming up, but normally the next one to the English is Arabic. So when you hear a song from our country, it could be in English, it could be in Arabic. Anything in a local language, we will definitely know that this is from South Sudan. Some people mix English in the language and everything. But it's very hard to actually tell this person is from South Sudan or not, because I have not heard us supporting uh, our musicians or being seen on the international stage. Of course, some of them made it to the international stage, but not because of any support that the country have given them, but because of their own way of how they navigate that. I have seen that in Emmanuel Jal. Emmanuel Jal has become a creative man where his music is being played in form of being a DJ, in form of being a musician as well, which is a good thing. He has done it. He has become a very good man with a lot of new ideas. And his music is really beautiful because sometimes I go to a music festival, the next minute I hear was this Tong Nao. I said, how did even this happen? I said, this is because of Jal. Nobody else will ever do this. This is Jal. Uh,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
that
Jal
always
is at
surprised
a
me,
different
you
level, and
know.
I think this should be an inspiration to many where he has reached, because he's able to sell out, like concerts. I mean, talking of concerts, you and I, we have organized concerts, so I think we've done. Would be fair to say that we've done our fair, share of trying to support local artists. You and I, we have organized a couple of concerts. But what more can be done to give a platform, because we did some concerts in East Africa region, and as well as in Egypt. How else can we be able to support the people, aside from the fact that we try to bring them together, like organize occasionally concerts to bring different types of artists, both young and older people, to so that we mix it up, because we don't also expect sometimes that. I mean, there is expectation that most of the people, concert goers are young people, but they're also older people, and those people need to have the favorite artists as well represented. So I think that is also an area where we can be able to support, and yeah.
Yeah, of course, we can support them in doing. I'm a man of supporting people. If I see a talent in you, I'll definitely support you and give you the opportunity that you need, because for those guys to organize an event, it's actually going to cost them a lot of money. And if you offer them and say, look, I can give you one album, I will pay for your one album, and then that will actually support them. Also, if you want to do a bigger concert where all of those artists, let's say you do that one a year, and all of them come and perform, and you give them their shares and everything like that, that will actually support their music, because a lot of people will hear their music, compared to a person doing a solo event, you know.
There's
So
also there's
marketing.
also exposure to international platform, because these days there is music is more listened to in his streaming services, through his streaming services, than through TV, radio, and all this stuff. Like, really, young people are not listening to radio anymore. They're not watching TV very much. So there is need to expose people as well to international streaming service, Apple Music, Spotify, Audio Mac, and all these streaming services that exist out there. So, like, for example, you go to Apple Music today and search for South Sudanese artists, it would be difficult. And I've done it many times. It's difficult to find even the latest music in the platform. And how are you able to access it? For example, if you are not in the country and you could get the MP3 directly.
I can tell you that with those platforms, our country is in a very bad condition at the moment. So you will not be able to even if if you from South Sudan at the moment and you try to sign up for those services or those platforms, it's going to be more than impossible for you to do it, because our country is in sanction list. So no one will be able to accept any payment from the country that you are. If you want to get paid through them, you will have to say you are in Kenya or you are in Uganda or some other place. You cannot say you are in South Sudan. Even if a million people listen to your song, you're not going to be able to get paid through that, because the country is going through a sanction. So all this can affect our artists. If you live in another country, well and good, you can try to sell all your
But
songs. But
not everybody can be able to afford that, because also, I mean,
yeah.
we want to promote, talents within the country, because I mean, you should not be able to exploit your talent only if you are abroad. Like we saw with the basketball, we heard Kaman almost, facing a challenge of being deported due to those U.S. restriction on travel for South Sudanese. So it's the same thing with artists. Like, if you organize, a concert today in the U.S. or in the UK, it would be very difficult to travel. So I think this is an area as well, and not only supporting by setting up studios that the government can do. You need to polish, the international image, because if the countries are not confident that if people come to their country, they will go back to their country, it's difficult to promote your talent. And if you are an artist and you are unfortunate in this category of countries that are considered, high risk, it would be difficult for you to organize anything. I mean, you have an example. You know what happened, last year.
Yeah, 100%. So what I'm saying is that uh, we need to help our people. We need to help the artists. We need to help the music industry, because if we don't invest in that area, we could see a big fall, and we end up being in our houses, not trying to get into entertainment sectors. So what I'm saying is that we need to do more. We need to support these people. We need to listen to them. What is actually happening in there? They know better than us. We could see the simple thing, but they know better than us. What they go through in
But today,
personal level.
if you had the opportunity to ask, for example, an artist in South Sudan to be able to get their music to the next level, to bring it to more audience, what would you tell them directly if you were to speak to one of them?
Well, I don't think if I would be able to speak to them to get their music up. What I can do is just to talk to the community to say that, look, if an artist is coming up, if their song is actually good enough to actually be representing our nation, we need to go and support them. Doesn't matter who they are. Sometimes people listen based on if you support another political party, your music doesn't get listened to, you support the other one, you're missing it's a challenging thing where people are so divided in many levels where everyone is on their own, it's just become difficult for anyone to progress in our own country, because the only way we go forward is when we push our people up.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100% true that we can tell people to support, but there is a fundamental uh, you know disconnect between the artist and how they get to the audience, to the people who listen to them. That gap, you cannot tell people to support someone if there is no medium to bring them together. How do you do that? How do you get them to be able to connect? It's difficult to
Well,
travel within the country, to travel from one side to organize concerts. How can you be able to bring them together so that they support each other? Because you need to listen to good music. They need to, to learn to promote the music.
I think the only way to do that is to make sure that our country is stable enough. Our country has peace where that's an environment where you can do a lot of things. For example, you can go to school, you can go to university, you can go to any other place to actually spread out your music. But now everything is very, very located within central government, let's say in Juba. And sometimes there will be like how many events at once, two artists doing the event at one, and we know that we're very small community, and going between two events at the same time. I think there should be a central calendar where they look at the time when someone is having something, so that there's no collusion in between. We know that you are responsible for how you marketing your thing, but we should be able to look at what is happening within that area and see how we can schedule all those things. So what I'm thinking is that they still need to go out and tell people what type of music they
Maybe
have.
we need to maybe we need to found a music, a concert organizing website that would help people to schedule, to organize, themselves concert and all this stuff, because I think that is something that is also lacking. If there is, like a scheduling website, where you people have access to, very easy to access, I think this would also help. But
Yeah,
I think also the musician need to be out there to speak, to be in the media, need to be active in the social media, not only attending community events. I think if I was an artist, if I want to bring more audience to my show, I need to, to promote. I need to be present in all the medium that people listen to, like analytics. You need to analyze. Is it TikTok? Is it Instagram? Is it all other social media that people have access to? So, and then you need to pitch yourself there. And like you said earlier, I mean, if you're only promoting, like people based on what they can give you, then you limit yourself on who will listen to you. Because if a music is about a specific person, how I might not like that person, so how am I going to listen to that music?
yeah, like I kind of not agreeing with you that you are blaming them that they don't go on social media, TikTok, to go and promote themselves. I have seen them going on a daily basis to tell people the event is going to be here, it's going to cost this much. They're even offering a discounted price. So I don't think if you're making it easy for you, saying that they need to go to other websites or support the music. They do that. People will choose to listen to their music in YouTube than actually going to support them in person. They will give you false hope. They said, if you do that event, we are going to come. But on the event, they don't go and support those people. You know.
But maybe they
So
don't like the music, because you cannot, I mean, I cannot, you don't expect people to blindly support you. I think that is something that is lacking. And this is what needs to be assessed. You cannot, if I'm not coming to your concert, it's not because, it's not personal. It's because there's something maybe I don't like about the music. It's the same thing if there's a movie showing, I don't go and watch it. It means I don't like it. And I do not watch the music just to bring money to the person who created the music. It has to also be something that appeals to me. In as much as we can, it can be a social contribution and support. But I also need to to get something out of the music, something that makes me happy, that brings me joy. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we can argue all night, all day, but all in all, those guys are going through a tough time. The only way to go forward, I think we need to actually investigate. We need to actually go into them and actually understand what they're good, because this is their professional career. As you said, maybe it's a side hustle. Some of them is actually their job to actually produce music for people to listen to, and if they don't get supported, they will always give up halfway, you know. And how can we ensure that there's continuity between generation for that type of music? So I think I'll leave it to you. As much as you said they don't promote themselves, I do believe they do promote themselves, because I've seen it myself. I have heard it. I've watched the promotion videos that contribute to how the event is going to go. But still, they don't get supported. Maybe because they're from Dinka, maybe because they're from Nui, maybe because they're from Shuluk. All these things are contributing factors where people do not support them. You know, we have to be able to support this guy so that they can be big guy like Nigerian. Look at Diamond; his people are supporting him. Look at all those guys like
I mean,
Burna
it's
Boy;
not only
their
his
people are
people;
supporting
it's
him.
all Africans.
You know,
It's all Africans who support them. That is because they had to break that glass ceiling. Before, like they were just local artists back in their country, but because there is a system that provides them the platform, they were able to break out of that. Like in Nigeria, you talk about Tanzania, and many others that have done it. So I think it's many layers of things that can be done as the listeners, but also the artists and the authorities, in the country. As you mentioned earlier, that there's a need to be able to promote local music. For example, if there is an event, you need to bring out the artist, not necessarily the one that support you, but the one that people, have a message. Those that have a message need to be given a platform. So I guess there's a lot, that can be done, and what we can do as well. Those of us that have these platforms, like now we speak about it, you and I. Hopefully, people will be able to listen and hear. But go back to the playlist and listen to people from back home. I think these are little things that can be done at personal level.
yeah, like for me, I give my support to those all artists. I listen to Dinka, Nui, whatever music, Arabic. I learn my Arabic from all those songs. So I support all of them in many, many different ways. If those platform like Spotify, all of those one, I listen to them. So I think from here, how we can take it is to make sure that we create a platform for these people to grow. Because if they don't grow, then we don't have a music. If we don't have music, then there's no way to actually express how things need to be done, because music is art, it's a creative art where something need to be passed in a different way, where you can hear it differently. I can be telling you that do it this way, but if you hear it through music, it will change your mind and you will be convinced to actually go on that direction. So I do think
No,
that we need
absolutely,
to actually
absolutely.
support them.
No, I agree with you that creating platforms is great. I don't know if you have anything else to add, or we can leave it here. Uh,
As we can leave it here, but all in all, I don't want you to say that these guys are not actually promoting their event. They're doing their promotion. They are doing anything possible for them to promote their event.
you're
What I
partially a
can say is
promoter,
that,
so I think you have a lot of leeway as well to support them.
yeah, well, we can do anything that will make them happy, will make them see their dreams, especially the younger people, we have a lot of opportunity to bring them up.
Well, I guess that will be the end of today. Thank you very much, dear listeners. Just to ask you to go to our platforms and follow Matt and Nin podcast and listen to the previous episodes. If you haven't listened, we've seen that a lot of those that watch the videos on YouTube, almost 80% of those who listen to or watch the video are not subscribed to the channel. So we just ask you to please, after listening, if you like, you can subscribe to the channel, both on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good one wherever you are. And for all our artists, you're not alone. We are with you. We are here to see your challenges, and we're going to share it together as a community, and eventually we can overcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.